Hey, beauties. Welcome to Beauty Behind the Chair. I'm your host, Selena. This is where real conversations happen that normally happen behind the chair about life, beauty, purpose, and all that God has called you to be. This podcast is where beauty, faith, and real conversations meet. So let's get comfortable, pull up a chair, and let's get into today's conversation. Called to be an entrepreneur, hair being my ministry. It is more than hair. Behind every beautiful woman, every smile, every haircut, every hair color, there is a story. We all have a story. And it's more than what we just see on the outside. It's what's in our heart. And so for me, I know before the pandemic, God had put it on my heart to start Hair Inspire. He gave me the name, the vision to be an inspiration for women, for it to be a safe space. And I'm the type of person, I love words. Like I love to see words, quotes. It speaks to me. And so that was one of the visions, to have words on the wall and different quotes and saying that will speak to the different women as they come in the salon. So not only did I want them to see things that gave them inspiration, I wanted them to feel inspired as well. And it became just that. It became a safe space. And then they want to get their hair done. They want to feel good and look good. They want a safe space. They want somewhere that they can truly let their hair down, that they can relax, that they can unwind, that they can share what's on their heart, whatever it is. And it be a non-judgmental environment. It be a place of peace, no drama. How important that is. And so I'm very grateful to God that Hair Inspire is just that. And I once saw a quote that said, hairstylists touch more hearts than hair. And it's true. Yes, we touch their hair, make them look good, but it's about their heart. Because you can have your hair looking good when you leave, but how do you feel on the inside? That's what's really important. Over the years, I've seen so many clients go through so many things, whether that's a loss of a loved one, going through breakups, divorces, things with their kids, traumatic experiences, wanting to give up on their job, even the good times too, because they come to us to celebrate and share the different things that they go through. And I've seen so many things from the different women that have come in the shop. And so I've learned it's not a light thing. It's not a coincidence that they came in to share what was on their heart, or they got that phone call right when they was in the chair. God needed to use me for them, whether that was to pray for them, to hug them, to give them a word of encouragement, whatever it was. Some of the things that they share with me are oftentimes things they haven't even shared with their loved ones, their friends, their family members. So to be able to open up, it has to be a safe space for them to feel comfortable to even give me something very important, something that's been on their heart, something that's troubling them, and trust me in that moment. So they're not just trusting me with their hair, they're trusting me with their heart as well. And so as time went on, I had to learn that I have to prepare for my day because I don't know what's ahead. Yes, the clients make appointments to get their hair done, but the appointment was an assignment. That particular day, they was going to get a word of encouragement. That particular day, they were going to get a prayer. They were going to get a word of hope for the different situations that they were going through. And so God knows though. God knows what you need and when you need it and who he wants to send you to give you the very thing that you need. And so for me, understanding that here's my ministry and that I'm called to be an entrepreneur, I had to learn that it's important how I start my day. So just like we plug up our phones to be fully charged at 100%, I have to plug into God. God is the plug. Okay. I have to be charged because let me tell you, it's a difference operating at 30% versus 100%. And I'm not saying I do it all the time because I would be lying if I did say I do. I do not. That is something that I want to be more consistent with, right? But I do realize the difference operating fully tapped into God, starting my day, meaning praying to God, submitting my mind to Him, asking Him, what do He need me to do for this day? Is this something that I'm supposed to do for the different people that are coming to me that day, right? And also, getting out of my own way because do you know we get in our own way. And oftentimes when we get in our own way, we're not doing the very thing that God wants us to do, He may have put on our heart and called us to do to show up for somebody in their time of need. And I'll give you a little story. So recently, a couple months ago, this was one of those days where I wasn't fully, I'll say, tapped in or 100% charged, okay? Because I was distracted and doing a whole bunch of things that morning. God had put it on my heart to get flowers for one of my clients that was coming that day. And I said, okay, but I think I'm going to be late because at the time I was rushing. And so I'm rushing, getting everything together, trying to get out the house. So it comes back to me, get the flowers. So I'm like, well, I'm going to be late. At this time, I for surely was going to be late. Okay. And so I'm driving about halfway to the shop. It comes back to me, get the flowers. I'm like, but the time is moving up. I'm going to be late. So I get close to the shop. I'm probably about 10 minutes out. And it comes back, get the flowers. So I'm like, okay, fine. So I stop and get the flowers, come to the shop. I beat my client, by the way. I was not late. Okay. And when she came in, I said, here, these flowers are for you. And she almost cried. She was so touched because what I didn't know is that she had prayed for flowers. Her birthday was coming up and she had got her gifts and stuff already. Some of her family members came over. They had surprised her and they brought all these wonderful gifts that she told me about. And she said, but I really just wanted some flowers because she loves flowers. And she's like, I just wanted some beautiful flowers. And she said, I was just asking God, can you send me some flowers? So, in that moment, I'm just like, wow, I felt really small, but at the same time, I was very grateful that I was obedient because I couldn't help but think, what if I didn't stop and get those flowers? I would have felt horrible, especially after we had talked and she would have told me, I just wanted some flowers. I would have been kicking myself. And I say all that to say, to remind you and encourage you, as well as myself, that it's very important to move when God put it on your heart to do, to show up for somebody, to call them, to text them, to gift them with something, whatever it is that He puts on your heart to do, because you never know their conversation, their prayers that they had with God, the things that they are looking for or need in that moment. And God is looking for us to be a blessing to others. And I know personally, I can afford to be a blessing. God has been a tremendous blessing to me 10 times over in my life and still is blessing me. And I can afford to be a blessing to others. So I personally want to do better with moving, being a blessing to other people because again, we can get in our own way. I know I can. And say, I don't feel like doing this. I don't want to do this. Oftentimes, the very thing that God may want you to do for someone else could be something you don't want to do. Because a lot of times our feelings will override a lot of things that we don't do because we don't feel like doing. But it's not about how we feel. It's about being obedient to what God is putting on our heart to do. So it's very important to plug in, to stay charged, to be prepared for what God is bringing to you in your day. Because you don't know. I know me personally, I don't know what the different clients may be going through, what they need in that day. And some days, he may want me to just be kind to them, just love on them that day. He may want me to speak a word to them. He may want me to pray for them. Some days are light and some days are not so light. It just depends on the needs, right? And so when I'm operating out of my strength because I'm not fully charged, it's not going to go well. So for me, I pray for my day. I pray for my clients. I pray for my staff. I pray for their clients. the different ones that may come in, prayer changes everything. My clients have no idea the amount of prayers that go up on their behalf and still go up because there is power in prayer, okay? And so I'm often reminded of the prayers that have went up during the journey of me being an entrepreneur, me opening up Hair Inspire, praying for my clients, the clients that God is going to send me, the staff that He's going to send me. And so right now, today, I'm walking in answered prayer. And I owe God all the glory for that. My clients are amazing, by the way. They have become like family to me. Some of them have been with me through all my journeys of the different salons and still with me, and they really are a blessing because listen, my saying is all money is not good money. Okay. And I know I had someone ask me before, would you turn a client away? The answer is yes. Something I say all the time, protect your peace. You got to protect your peace at all costs. Okay. I do not do drama. I don't like it. I'm not tolerating it. And I'm just not. We all are going through different things, but trauma is unnecessary, and we can find a way to talk about whatever it is that's going on. And the thing about it is, you can't satisfy everybody. That's a part of being an entrepreneur. Some people you can satisfy and others you can't. And you got to learn when to walk away or realize I'm not the stylist for you. You're not the client for me. And that's okay. It's no need of having drama behind it. So I am grateful that my clients understand me. I understand them. They are considerate. That's something that I have prayed for years. And I'm grateful for my staff. I have prayed for a good staff. And God has sent me just that. I love my staff. I love my beautiful ladies that I have met along the way with my woman empowerment journey. It's just so much beauty in women when they are themselves. And I'm grateful for the ones that have come and gone as well because I have learned to be the stylist I am. I would not be the stylist I am if it wasn't for some of the clients that had to go on. Everybody has a season, right? And so sometimes you got to realize those things, the very things that you may want, that you have prayed for, and when God gives you those things, to thank Him, to remember how far you came. And are you walking in answered prayer? But sometimes we get it and we move on to the very next thing, not realizing, wow, this is something that I've been praying for some years. Let me sit in this. Let me embrace this and be grateful that I'm here. The emotional weight that goes on behind the chair. Let me tell you, there is definitely a lot of weight that goes on behind the chair that a lot of stylists may not talk about, honestly, because we are the client's therapists, counselors, best friend, prayer warriors, sisters, whatever they need us to be in that moment, we are. And again, like I said, it's nothing like coming to a place where you feel comfortable. You can sit down and share what's on your heart, share what you're going through. And sometimes we may not need to say anything. You just may need to listen. They just might need to get it out. But oftentimes, depending on your day, I don't care if you have one client or 10 clients, it can be a lot because for us, we pour and pour and pour and pour. And oftentimes, we may not have anyone to pour back into us, right? And it can become a lot where we feel drained at the end of the day. But one of the things that I had to learn, and I'm still learning, by the way, is that the very things that the clients share with me, their burdens, their concerns, their fears, the different things that they're going through, I have to give it to God. And God has showed me or reminded me that you can't care for them more than I care for them. I care for them. You think you care for them? I gave you that heart to care, but I know them. Okay. And so I had to realize that and understand that, like, okay, God, you're right. Because I'm the type of person that if it's something, traumatic or very sad, I'm going to be thinking about it. I might go to sleep thinking about it. I'm waking up thinking about it, thinking how I can help problem solve. But that's not what God wants me to do. He wants me to do whatever it is that He's called me to do in that moment, whether that was to be a listening ear, whether that was to pray for them, to give them a word, to tell them it's going to be okay, whatever it is that He told me to do for them in that moment. And then when they give it to me, I give it to Him. I bring it to Him. I'm supposed to cast my cares as well as their cares unto Him and not hold on to it. So that's something that was a struggle for me that I'm still learning to do. And I'm praying that I continue to grow in that area, which I know I will, but it was a struggle. I'm going to be honest. And let me just say this another thing, when you give it to God, really give it to Him. Don't take it back. I'm guilty of that too. I would give it to Him and take it back and wonder why I'm over here stressing, thinking about it because I'm reminded I didn't fully give it to Him, So when you give it to Him, give it to Him. Really let Him keep it. Don't try to take it back because God is equipped to handle it. He knows what they need. Okay. We just have to do our part. This podcast is just, to me, a highlight of our story as women, my story growing and my purpose and understanding me being called to be an entrepreneur, wife, a mother, the different hats that God has me to manage because so much is given, much is required. I had to learn that and still learning that. The struggles, the challenges, the honest conversations that people may not be having or they think that they're the only ones feeling this way or going through that. And, they need encouragement because when we share our story, we see that, wow, I can relate to you. I can understand what you mean, what you're going through. Oh, you helped me with this. And that's where the woman empowerment came from, honestly, that I saw God bridging the women in the industry because growing up in the hair industry, let me just say this for a minute. It can be very catty. And to be honest, it still is, honestly. And that's why for me, it was always a dream of mine to create a space that we can get along and help each other out and not be catty and have drama and all of that. But growing up in the industry, it was very catty. A lot of, I'll say, mean girls want to tear each other down, not help each other, and all the things. And for me, I loved hair. I loved making women feel amazing. I just didn't like that aspect of it. Same with the woman empowerment coming together. Like a lot of women, which I saw, because of their jealousy and their envy and having that, as they say, crab in the barrel mentality where you can't have one up on me. I got to pull you down. Well, I'm not going to help you reach this goal, even though I can. I don't like it. Because I'm just like, even if you're in the same industry, why not support? That's not going to block your blessing. If anything, it's going to add to your blessing. You reap what you sow. You don't support, you can't help them when you can help them. Like, what's going to happen when your time come back around and you need help? And so for me personally, I started to see a lot of that. I did not like it. So sometimes the things that you don't like can fuel the very passion of you doing something to make the change, and that's what the woman empowerment came about. I said, okay, let's call together like-minded women that want to actually come together, empower each other, uplift, help one another, and know that we all need each other because you can be on your island by yourself, but you only gonna get but so far. Okay. You need a community. You need people to help push you. You need people to help you be better. Like they need to encourage you. They may have the very thing that you need to unlock the next level that you need to go. So I say all that to say how important it is to be mindful of the people that God sends in your life and the very reason that He sent them in your life. What can you do? How can you be a blessing to them? How can you show them kindness? How can you love on them? You know what I mean? Because it's a lot of hate in the world. Do we need more from each other? No, we do it but we don't need it. You know what I mean? God causes us to love each other, period. If we loved on each other, man, It will make such a difference. That's all I'm going to say. Like I say all the time, spread more kindness. It goes a long way. Okay. So beauty is more than what we see. It's more than flawless makeup, laid edges, long flowing hair, outfit on point. Yes, we love to look good. Who doesn't want to look good? It's nothing wrong with that. But beauty is more than that. It's more than what the world tries to say beauty is. Beauty is what's on the inside, what shines out. Beauty is your confidence. Beauty is growth. Beauty is being you unapologetically, not apologizing for who God has created you to be. Beauty is knowing who you are and whose you are. So, as a stylist, I had to learn that I have the ability to speak life into someone. I have the ability to reshape their confidence. I have the ability to remind them of how great they are, their purpose. I have the ability to encourage them and uplift them in the difficult seasons that they may be in. It's so much power in your words. Life and death lies in the tongue. And that's as hairstylists, part of our job outside of doing hair is talking. What are we depositing in the different clients' lives that we come across? Do they feel loved? Do they feel encouraged? Do they feel like we care about them? Because you don't know a person's full personal life, of course, unless they tell you. And like I said, oftentimes we may be their sister, we may be their best friend in that hour or 3, 4 hours that we have them. You just never know. It's not always about the glitz and glam. And a lot of times people look at us and say, oh, you get to do hair all day. At least you get to do something fun. You get to make your own schedule, create your own hours, take who you want to take, all the things, right? And that's very true. But what you don't see is the long hours that we have to work, us standing on our feet all day, the aches and pains in our body, okay? The mental exhaustion, the physical exhaustion, okay? The emotional exhaustion. I mean, stylist burnout is real, okay? That's why we have to rest. Sometimes we're not even able to take a break to eat. We have to keep going. And that's not to mention what comes to us that day with the different needs that we have to meet for our clients, right? But that's the position that God has placed us in for his own purpose because we were built for, we're equipped to do the very things that he's called us to do. And social media, oh, let me tell you, social media has its own category of pressure, okay? Like, I know for me personally, like when I first started doing hair, I built a clientele off of word of mouth. I do your hair, you go out there to the stores. Who did your hair? Oh, I'll get an appointment. And when social media came about, I had to learn how to market myself on social media. And as social media is changing, you have to relearn, different things will work, what doesn't work, and all that, which can be a full-time job. Let me just say that, okay? Because I say too that a lot of clients, when they come in, like I know back in the day, again, starting doing hair, I grew up on Black Hair magazine and all of that. Now they come in with their picture from Pinterest and TikTok and Instagram and Facebook, and they want this hairstyle. And they want you to be on there. I want to show my stylist work, or I want to see the work that you do. And so it's like, it's your portfolio, where they can see, oh, she can do this set, she can do this color, she can do long hair, she can do short hair. They want to see what you're doing. And even more so now, they just don't want to see hair. A lot of people are looking for a stylist they can relate to. I want someone that I feel comfortable. Does this person's page represent someone that I want to go sit in their chair? So it's a lot of pressure that can come with just the social media aspect, right? But that's a part of entrepreneur. It's good, it's the bad, it's the ugly, it's the challenges and the long hours and just the commitment that you have to have as an entrepreneur that does not stop. But I just want to encourage my entrepreneurs to keep going. Don't give up. You are doing amazing. I know it's a lot of work, and we have a lot of jobs under that one job. So, meaning you may be the receptionist, the producer, the editor, the social media marketer. You have a lot of titles, as an entrepreneur, but God has equipped you. He's given you the resources. He will send the very people that you need to help you grow in your career. We just can't give up. You cannot forget your why. Because let me tell you, your why is going to keep you going. When all the passion may die out, because you will have times where you question, I don't know if I should do this, right? When you don't feel like it, because them feelings will have you looking like, I'm not doing this. You know what I mean? But you have to push past the feelings. You have to push past all of those things and keep going because your why is your reminder of what God has called you to do, your very purpose that He's created you, and that others are relying on you. They need you because you are their assignment, you know? And so, how important it is to not forget your why, to be reminded of it. And sometimes you might have to rest, sometimes you might have to restart, rebrand, refocus, whatever it is you need to do to not be burnt out. Because I know stylist burnout is real. And take that much needed break. But don't stay down. Get up and get back at it because consistency matters more than motivation, more than feelings, more than passion. You have to stay consistent. Being an entrepreneur is a commitment. It's something you have to see through. So yes, although stylist burnout is real, social media pressure, the expectations of your clients can be a lot of pressure too. All of those things. But so is grace. So is God's peace. So is God's purpose. We have to keep going. God is faithful to give us the strength that we need and the grace that we need for each day. Okay. And I want you to remember, you're not just doing hair or doing makeup or doing facials just for the sake of it. You're doing it because you're building a community, you're building a legacy, and you are walking in your purpose. The faith behind the chair. Let me tell you something. It takes a lot of faith to be an entrepreneur. I'm sure all my other entrepreneurs can attest to that. Okay, because you don't have all the answers. God may give you a vision, a glimpse, warn you before something happens. But what about the in between or the things that you didn't even think about? But that's why we need Him. We can't do it on our own strength. We can't operate out of our own power. We need God. We need to be plugged in and tapped in so we can have understanding, have peace with this journey that we're on and we get to see the very purpose and plan that He has for us unfold. Because we don't know. We have no idea the purpose and plan that God has for our life. He gives us glimpses, and the more we walk in obedience, the more we get to see it unfold. But how important it is, continue to look to Him, continue to trust Him, because we grow in our faith, we grow in our trust for Him as we're on this journey. And I know the same faith that I had starting out as a business owner is not the same faith that I had today. I have grown in my faith. I have grown in trusting God. But guess what? Level 1 doesn't look like level 7. So even though I may be on level 3 or level 5, it requires a different level of faith. It requires a different level of trust, right? But it's a beautiful thing because you can look back and be reminded of, wow, God, look how far you've brought me. Look how much I've grown, you know? And so it should help you to trust them more. Oftentimes, I'll speak for myself. I still question, like, well, wait a minute, God, it's looking a little dicey right here. But oftentimes, He has to stretch us because we don't know what's in us. We don't know what we're capable of with Him, you know? So He has to stretch us to show us, I got you. You don't know how I've built you for this time. You don't know that you need this to go to level 7, to go to level 8, right? So it's a constant thing, you know? And growth is a beautiful thing, even though it's painful, but just how it's pain, joy comes in the morning. Okay. So you have to go through it. It's a process of becoming, right? So I often say that talent is not enough. Okay. You could be the most talented painter, you could be the most talented makeup artist, hairstylist, writer, what have you. But people remember how you treat them. People remember you showing up for them in that moment. People remember the words that you spoke to them. So it's more than talent. What you did for them in that moment, how you made them feel is the lasting impression. So that's what's important to me. That's where I realize, okay, yes, I'm a hairstylist, but I work for God. I owe him my life. I would not be here if it wasn't for God. So what can I do? How can I honor you and bring glory to your name through myself, through my business, through my family, through the different ones that you send me, whatever it is, right? And so I understand and realize that it's so much more than hair. It's so much more, and being sensitive to what God is doing through and by you is very important. How much we need it in this world today. There has been times where God told me, look, say this, pray for this person, give this person a hug, speak less and listen. Listen to what she's saying. Give her this, bring this. And I have to do it. You know, it's a piece in doing the things that he calls you to do and understanding that that's what the person needs. How much more when we are going through something, we may need something and God will send the very person to give us what we need and how good it is. We can be that for someone else, right? And so I know for me as a stylist, yes, I pour into different people. But do you know it's not a one way thing? It goes both ways because God will send someone to me. It could be a client, it could be a stranger that just ring the doorbell and come in and we get to talking. God has sent me so many different people that has crossed my path, whether that's clients, the women empowerment, strangers, what have you, that spoke a word, gave me a hug, gave me confirmation, whatever it was that I know that it was for him. But that just shows me that it's not a one way thing. It goes both ways. God need us to be a blessing. He need us to love on each other. He need us to work together. Okay, so yes, could be on this island alone, but what is it going to do for you as well as someone else that can use the very thing that you need to give them? And so that's what I love about God. Like it's not just one sided. He's working. Even when we don't see him, he's working. He's always working. He's always listening. He's already gone before us. We just catching up. And so how important it is to come together as women, to just be there for one another. Because like I said, we all have a story. We all are going through things. We all have challenges, right? And sometimes, as entrepreneurs, you could have a million things going on at home, but when you come to your place of business, you have to show up for your clients, for your customers in that moment. You have to be present. You have to service them. And let me tell you something, customer service goes a long way. I am a stickler for customer service, okay? But everybody doesn't have it. I get it. It bothers me. I get it. But how can you make the difference? How can you be the change? I know for me personally, I try to treat my clients with respect, with love, with kindness, cater to them because I understand and I appreciate that they're taking their time, that they're spending their money. And this might be the only downtime that they have. This might be the only time that they have to relax. Or they may just want to talk and vent and get it out where they can't do that at home or to someone else. So just really being mindful of those things and the weight, the title, the position that God has put you under. And what you doing to build his kingdom, right? Only what you do for Christ will last. So I had to learn to be grateful for my gifts. And what do I mean by that? being grateful that one, God has blessed me with the talent to do hair, but also the very gift of having a salon. That's something that has always been a dream of mine since I was a little girl, right? But it's another thing in God answering that prayer. And so now that He's answered the prayer and looking at how far I've come, like I had to learn to be grateful for it. Because oftentimes you can pray for something that you want and you think you want, right? But you don't realize how much work it is, how much time it's going to take, how much sacrifices, or the challenges that can come with it. You don't realize all the things that it takes for this very thing that you may have prayed for. Because God can give it to you, but will you be grateful? Will you appreciate it? Will you take care of it? What will you do with it? Or would you say, "Oh, you could take it back." You know what I mean? Because Imma be honest with you. Yes, I wanted a salon because 'cause I'm looking at the glitz and glams of everything, right? But once you get it, you realize how much work it is. Now, I've seen work from other people that I know that have salons, but seeing the work and actually you having to do the work is 2 different things, okay? And so, as I had to grow and learn what it takes to be a business owner, how to manage things, and all of that, it was a lot of work. I started thinking, like, I don't know. I know I said I wanted this, but am I fully equipped to do this? I don't know. I had doubts, I had insecurities. I'm not going to lie. And it became overwhelming, it became stressful from time to time because it was a lot. And it does take blood, sweat, and tears to be an entrepreneur. It really does. But those are the things that help you grow to be the very entrepreneur that God has called you to be. Those are the things that you get to see and experience for yourself. Somebody didn't just tell you, you walked in it, you lived it. Now your faith is even stronger. Now you're trusting God even more because you know if it wasn't for Him, your doors wouldn't be open. You wouldn't have the clients. You would not be walking in these answered prayers. Nobody can sway you differently. Like for sure, God, it is only you that I'm here. Right? And so for me, I had to learn. Okay, yes, it's gonna be challenging. Yes, it's gonna be obstacles. I may even question myself, but I gotta look to you. I gotta trust you. I gotta trust the process. That God, you've called me to this. You've equipped me. You've already given me everything that I need. And I just have to take it day by day. I have to put one foot in front of the other. And it's okay to mess up. It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to revamp sometimes, change up some things. Oh, this didn't work. Okay, let me do this differently. You know what I mean? That's a part of the journey. And don't be fearful of failure. Failure is the opportunities you don't take. That's failure. If you fail from time to time, you get back up and you try again because that's how you become successful because you learn from those mistakes, period. And so for me, I had to ask God, help me learn how to embrace the journey and enjoy the journey. I want joy to be a part of the journey because, yes, there are going to be hard days. There are going to be days that are frustrating, right? There are going to be days that I'm questioning all the things, but allow joy to help me throughout this journey because this is what you prayed for. This is what you wanted. God saw fit to answer your prayer. So, meaning, this is your purpose. This is what He's called you to do. So, enjoy it. So, I can say, fast forward to now, I'm enjoying the journey. I'm enjoying the journey of being an entrepreneur. Yes, it's hard work, but okay, let's have a good time. Let's make the best of this day. Today wasn't a good day. Okay, it's okay. Joy come in the morning. And so I just want to encourage my entrepreneurs and the different ones that may have prayed for something that they're questioning. "Oh, wait, I don't know about this." No, if God answered the prayer, He's given it to you for a reason. He's given it to you for a purpose. So embrace it. Trust the process. Trust that He's equipped you to finish it, to finish the assignment for however long that season is. Take joy with you in the journey. Appreciate the little things. You know, don't walk around so frustrated and mad about it because guess what? Other people want the very thing that you have. So be encouraged, entrepreneurs, that you got what it takes. You were called to be an entrepreneur, and not just called to be an entrepreneur, to be a great entrepreneur, because God saw fit. But make sure you tap in with Him, stay fully charged, because you can do it. You can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. Thank you for pulling up a chair with me today. I hope you enjoyed the conversation. If you did, please like, comment, and subscribe, and send it to another beautiful lady that can use it. Until next time, remember, there's beauty behind the chair, but there's purpose behind you. So go be great and have the most amazing day on purpose.